There's some characters behind me, shifty-looking characters. What were they up to last night?
They were up all night making a picnic table.
Before you get too insulting, they're in the studio tonight. I just thought
They were winning the Mr. Handsome contest.
That's more like it.
Were they harming horses? You know, when they harm horses, like slash horses?
No.
Were they
But it was a nighttime covert activity like slashing
goats.
horses.
They were slashing goats.
No, let's assume we wouldn't invite into the studio.
Were they?
Yes, I
maimed
suppose so,
animals.
Were they pretending to be gas men and
Robbing old
thereby
ladies.
stealing the property of aged people?
No. If I told you that this was in Wiltshire, would that help?
Cathedral stealing.
Grave robbing. Grave robbing's always...
Or they drew something rude.
In the summer...
On Stonehenge. They drew something rude on Stonehenge.
Crop circle.
Oh, Alan, well done. Crop circles. Absolutely right. There they are. The equipment needed for crop circling, a plank with rope. But what was the crop circle? We commissioned them.
A
to
QI
do
symbol.
A QI crop circle, and they did it for us. And it's rather impressive.
Because
We're rather
QI is
pleased
run
with
by
it.
aliens.
Would you like to see it? Would you like to see it?
I certainly would.
Well, let's have it. We actually went to the expense of having a travelling aerial shot. What do you think of that? We did.
That's real. That's like the Led Zeppelin cover.
Oh, you fail. I'm afraid it was real. The extraordinary thing is that almost within half an hour of it being completed and the dawn rising, we were contacted by people. Someone wanted to know, they said, is it real or is it man-made? The answer is...
I asked that about sandwiches all the time.
But it's a rather marvellous example of a breed of phenomenon that has that's been going since when?
Is the farmer... Is the
the
farmer
80s.
here tonight?
We
as
have
well?
recompensed the farmer. It doesn't actually do much
But how
damage.
many mice were frightened in the making of that?
We can't tell how many mice were
I'll bet
frightened.
this is older than we suspect.
It's actually very recent.
Is it?
It is really, yeah.
80s?
Well, 70s it began, and it got more and more refined. There was a man
Like
called...
Pizza Express.
There were a couple called... Yeah. There's a fellow called Doug Power and Dave Chorley, and they admitted that they'd been responsible for almost all the crop circles. They used to be on the news every summer. There'd be aerial shots, and there were people who called themselves seriologists who genuinely believed that these were the work of people from outer space or from magnetic forces from ley lines or all kinds of
They'd
nonsense.
do things like they'd do a crop circle and then they'd leave a couple of scorch marks or something.
Yes.
The engine...
Well,
engine had blasted off
lights
back into
overnight.
smoke.
We've got... Where are our three here? Put your hand... There, look, is that John? John Lundberg.
Yeah.
Is that, there you are. There's John. Can you tell me how you did yours without giving away too many trade secrets? What's the most technological item you need?
We need something called a stalk stomper, which is a plank of wood and a loop of rope that you put under your foot to flatten the crop. And to actually mark out the design, you use a surveyor's tape. So it's very, very kind of simple techniques and very simple tools.
What about your spaceship? What spaceship?
I'm saving up for one, but the fee I got for this, it's going to take a while.
So, how many do you do a year in the season?
We don't say how many we make, but we've made hundreds over the years that we've been doing it.
And do people... Are there still those who believe, or who refuse to believe that it's all hoaxers like you?
Absolutely. Well, they've been ringing your production office, haven't they?
Yeah, that's right. John Lundberg, thank you very much indeed. Thank you. Would you believe that they put a man on the moon?
Who? These guys?
NASA.
Oh, NASA. Yes, yeah, I think they put a man
You
on
believe
the-
that?
Yeah.
I believe it.
Yes, you believe it. Good, that's all. That's sort of all at the end of the question, really. But you probably know that quite a lot of people don't believe it.
No.
Yeah, but, well, I sort of believe one thing,
Yeah.
which is I kind of believe that they might have done some mocked-up fake photographs.
Really, why?
Because I was showing... Someone convinced me of it.
Yeah.
By talking about the angle of light and the shadows on the moon and all that. But then I did an advert with Patrick Moore, and I said, "So, Patrick, did they land on the moon?" And he looked so annoyed with me.
Yeah.
Actually, he explained to me how he had helped map the moon for NASA, and he'd spent years on the project, and the landing site was partly his idea, and if I ever spoke to him again, he was going to be sick in my eyes. They
are rather the time. If you'd spoken to Buzz Aldrin, he might have punched you.
I was going to say...
Buzz Aldrin punched someone because he just got so tired of these conspiracy arses.
I think it was a television documentary about...
Well, there have been several, of course.
You know, look at this photo. This couldn't possibly have been taken on the moon. This is obviously taken in a studio.
You're getting me started now, because one gets very sort of strange about this. But there are a lot of conspiracies. 6% of Americans believe that man didn't land on the moon, but 25% of Britons believe that they didn't. So it's a quarter of our nation are not convinced, apparently.
That's so depressing.
Isn't it?
It is.
The flag, it's one of the thing I read...
the flag is another thing, yes.
The flag, and
yeah, but there it is.
Well, obviously, they've starched the flag because they wanted to get a good photograph of it. They've stiffened the flag.
No, they haven't stiffened it. That's the point. The fact it's rumpled. There's no breath of wind out there, obviously, because you're in space, which is, as it were, a vacuum. But what there is movement. If you impart movement to something, it doesn't stop moving for a long time because there's there's no resistance against it. So they unpacked it, unfurled it, put it down, and it moved back and forth. People said, breeze. Ha-ha. As if, A, they would be stupid enough to fake it and allow the tape that had the breeze in it to go out.
But also, if you went to the moon, the least you'd expect is a flag moved a bit strangely. You know what I mean? You expect him to make the soup dragon, and you think, OK, he's not there. The flag moves a bit strangely, I can go with that.
Yeah. Why isn't one of them holding up a camera? Because you can see him reflected, the one taking the picture's reflected in the visor of the one, and he's not holding up a camera like that, you see. But that's because they didn't, in the visors, put a camera up in front of their visor. They were mounted.
You couldn't really actually imagine them getting a camera out, click,
like that.
winding it on.
I'd like to go to the moon.
You would like?
Oh,
yeah, I'd like to do that.
Yeah. I mean, two of the other things, just in case people are saying, but you haven't mentioned the clincher. One was the idea that below the lunar module that landed, there was no crater or sense of disturbed dust. The fact is, the engine's cut off and it hovered down and it very, very quickly landed. And unlike in science fiction films, it doesn't send out spears of flame as it descends. That just didn't happen. So,
because it was designed by, human brains and geniuses, and not a lot of people sitting tapping away at the internet who've got to go up to work in the morning.
Yeah,
who do you trust here?
We are in trouble as a species if people refuse to believe in things that they couldn't actually do themselves.
So true. So true. And the other one was the footprints. They said, look, there's too much moisture because look how clear they are. Only a sort of caked mud could do that, but actually you could do that with flour. The fact is, it's just very fine ground, and there's, of course, it's a vacuum again. It coheres. And the other thing with the mirrors that Apollo 12 astronauts put on the moon, which are now used for bouncing lasers off, for detecting, for example, how far the moon is getting away from us. And you can make incredibly accurate measurements because of mirrors on the surface of the moon. And perhaps, to me, the clinching one is that America's enemy at the time in the space race was the Soviet Union. And not once did they make a suggestion that they thought America hadn't done it. They never said, no, we know this was hoax.
Yeah.
The fact is, for every ill-conceived argument that the moon landings were a hoax, there's a perfectly logical explanation to put our minds at rest. What are these gentlemen spelling out in semaphore? Yes.
Help!
Oh, you'd think, wouldn't you?
On the story of Paul McCartney died and there's a replacement or something, is
You're not quite that, but you
I am a walrus.
No. Yeah.
We is George, John is All, Paul is Liv, and Ringo is Yellow Submarine.
But not in one.
Not in, no.
No, right, OK.
That's the elderly brother of the Beatles. It's not allowed to be seen.
Don't stop.
Yellow Submarine!
Now.
Hey, drink believer! Oh, that was the monkey.
Help!
All right, I don't.
That's very good. Well done. As it happened, the photographer who was commissioned to do the cover of Help did ask them to do it, but for some reason nobody liked the outcome graphically. So instead they positioned their arms in a pleasing arrangement, which ended up spelling N-U-J-V. Like so. Which...
It probably meant something to them.
Well, no, it gave rise to the first, as David intimated, the first of the great
myths
Beatles,
about
conspiracy theories. This was new unknown John vocalist, people said.
Oh, for crying
I know,
out
isn't it
loud.
tragic? Claiming that John had therefore
the fans who
died.
ruin the bands.
He'd died and been replaced, apparently.
So John had died and been replaced, and they said, we need a way of telling this thing, so let's get John back out, stuff him.
Yes, I know.
That doesn't make... Surely a conspiracy theory, he wouldn't even know that John's in it, he's not dead.
But actually Help would have looked like, which seems perfectly acceptable to me. There you are. And so it wasn't Help, it was NUJV. So what are the other famous, if they are, or infamous Beatles?
Barefoot on the Abbey Road cover.
The Barefoot on the Abbey Road cover is the absolute classic, isn't it? And what did that indicate?
Dead.
It's something...
Well, supposedly John is said to be dressed as a preacher, Ringo as an undertaker, George as a gravedigger, why a gravedigger in denim, and Paul with the suit but no shoes is a corpse. You might also notice that he's carrying a cigarette, but if you were to buy a modern copy of it, you would find that cigarette had disappeared.
Where's it gone?
There. Look, it's gone.
Wow.
Disappeared. Was there? It's gone. Anyway, photographer Robert Freeman wanted to arrange the Beatles to spell out help in semaphore. Didn't like the way it looked, so they went with NUJV instead. Now, secrecy. In the least order upwards, what's the word for a least secret document?
For anyone's eyes only.
Yes, but it's unclassified. And then protect. And then restricted.
Oh.
And then up to...
look over there.
Confidential.
Confidential.
Don't know what you're on about. Yeah.
And then...
I'm going to have to kill you.
Secret. And then...
Top secret.
Top secret, yes. It used to be in Britain, not top secret, but...
Most secret.
Most secret. Most... we're going to use this Americanism now, top secret.
Huh? Most secret's so British.
It is, most secret.
Tote secret.
There are, of course, there are some UFO conspiracy theorists who will tell you that there are 38 levels of secrecy above top secret, right?
Why are you talking like this?
Because these are UFO conspiracy theories.
Oh, that's how they talk.
That's how they talk.
That's how they talk, is it?
They do talk like that.
They all talk like that.
Oh, you can laugh. I know. You'll be laughing on the other side of your face when you're being probed. Yes. The top level is cosmic. Cosmic secret. And even the President of the US does not have cosmic clearance.
Really?
Apparently.
Who
Look
does?
it up. Look it up on the internet.
It's all there.
It's true. Totally true.
That's my favourite thing about conspiracy theorists, is this is something that the president doesn't know, but I've figured it out. I'll talk it away.
I'm on the internet.
No
one's got that.
Fantastic, isn't it? Oh, God. But now, what is Canucus eyes only?
Big one?
Canucus eyes only.
Is there a creature called a canucus?
Canucus.
And it's the only thing that's allowed to look at it. But it can't speak and therefore will never tell anyone.
Commander-in-Chief, United States?
No,
Not
Canada,
bad, though.
UK.
Not bad.
Very good. Canada, UK and United States. Canucus.
Canucus.
Canucus as well. And there's Oscanzucus, which is known as the Five Eyes, which is Australia, New Zealand, Canada, US, UK.
They're all one eye.
There's also basically don't tell the French.
In the Middle Ages, what shape did people think the world was?
Flat.
I know we all think they did, but there's absolutely no evidence whatsoever. They all thought it was round. They all wrote about it as round. The Greeks knew that it was round.
Round and flat.
No, they thought it was a sphere. Terry Jones, the Python, who is something of a medievalist, as you may know, he blames Washington Irving, the American writer, for one of those being who started this lie, as he puts it. The Greeks knew it was round, he says. Chaucer knew it was round. Roger Bacon wrote about the curvature of the Earth in the 13th century. So, apparently...
Well, I think the majority of people didn't really care.
No, but they started.
As indeed, we don't now actually care that it's round. If it was square, it wouldn't bother me. I'd rush to the edge. In fact, I'd want to go right to the corner.
You'd sit on the corner.
How do we know it's round?
Yeah, huh?
Round the world tickets.
One is photographing. Photographing it was a very big help. We took a photograph and we saw that it was
yes,
round.
but then you could say that about anything, about people going to the moon, and we know they didn't.
If it weren't round, all the flights of airplanes, if it weren't round, just nothing that we...
How do we know they just don't fly, just circle round for a bit and let you think that you're going miles and miles and miles and just come down, like, you know, a couple of hours away, and they've set Russia up a lot nearer than it is?
It's a really, 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 really long oblong shape.
On a track, like a like an electric bike, and they
We
just move it.
whizzing
The
round
plane goes up, the plane doesn't move. They move the country in front of them.
Are all the stars round?
I can't answer that. I think probably most.
But yet you know what people thought 500 years ago.
Can I read books? Yes. Have I visited every star in the universe? No. Is that something that you find difficult to understand? You set me off. You've set Sir off again.
Don't you think that this series has reached the point, with a dedicated following who trust us, that this would be the point where you could say just one thing in a show? You could say, just like this, the world isn't round. It's been proven. Most people will now believe it who watch this show.
Well, I can say with some confidence, ladies and gentlemen, the world is not round. It is an oblate spheroid.
No, that's not what I meant.
No, I'm sorry. I was being literally...
Pine cone. If you'd said the world is shaped like a pine cone. Just to see how many letters we get.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see, wouldn't it? Get some at last, anyway. Apart from the... well, you know who you are, don't you? And I tried it, and it was a disaster. Yes, no, since the 4th century BC, almost no one in the history of the world has believed that the Earth is flat. It's a common misconception, and indeed the song lyric, they all laughed at Christopher Columbus when he said the world was round, but he didn't think that the world was round. He thought it was actually pear-shaped, funny enough.
There is a National UFO Reporting Centre, which is the UFOs that we normally think of, the unidentified flying objects. It was started by a man called Robert Gribble, who's a fireman from Seattle, and he collects UFO sightings. And since 1905, there have been 105,000 reports of alien sightings. A tenth of those have been here in the UK.
But the photos are never on a camera that's more than 1 megapixel.
Yeah.
So it's conveniently grainy.
A little bit fuzzy. Anybody know the best place in the UK to see a UFO? Yes, Reading.
Reading!
No.
I think there's some near us.
Do you?
Because my dog barks at all other dogs, but no people apart from one family near us. And whenever they walk past, we look at my husband and I go, lizard people. And I know that they're walking past going, he knows.
Norfolk.
No, it's not. It's Scotland. It's Bonnybridge in Scotland.
Oh, yeah.
It's the place where you're most likely.
I don't know one of them. Is that guy an alien?
This is a man called Billy Buchanan. He's a councillor in Bonnybridge. I'm not sure why he photobombed our shot of the of the site. They have 300 sightings a year, roughly, in Bonnybridge.
Is it all by one man?
Actually, all of them.
You have 65 days off a year.
It's also known as the Falkirk Triangle. The fact is that Bonnybridge is under 3 flight paths, including those for Edinburgh and Glasgow Airport. It's your point there, Alice, isn't it?
I mean, just saying.
But the place in America that you would most likely find a UFO is Roswell, is the place that everybody thinks you've heard about the... So these are the street lamps in Roswell, aren't they great?
Well, you're not helping matters, are you?
No, not really.
Every night at around 7 p.m. they come on.
I wondered if I could interest you in an insurance policy against alien abduction.
How much is it?
Well, for about £120 a year, I can protect you against alien impregnation.
What if I was on the pill? On the 41, you know.
Men are also able to purchase impregnation insurance of this kind for protection against the unknown capabilities of alien technology. So your pill, not really going to be anywhere. So far, more than 30,000 of these policies have been sold. No. I love these insurance policies. In 2000, there were 3 sisters from Inverness who insured themselves against the possibility of miraculously conceiving and raising the second Christ.
I hate
when that happened.
Now, what does Sigmund Freud, Mark Twain, Henry James, a loony from Newcastle, and the Holy Ghost have in common?
Well, Mark Twain, I know had a link, but I don't know about the others. He was sceptical about Shakespeare because he thought that a toff wrote it. He didn't believe that a normal boy from Stratford could write.
Right.
Could write
He
properly.
was what you might call exactly a Shakespearean skeptic, as were the others. That's to say, Sigmund Freud also believed
that and Henry James, and the Professor Looney, that was unfortunately his name, though I believe it was pronounced Loney, from Newcastle, who wrote a book in 1920 called Shakespeare Identified. There was this whole movement, started in the 19th century, really, with the idea that it might have been Francis Bacon who wrote the works of Shakespeare. There was particularly a woman called Delia Bacon, who was an American and was completely insane, really. She came over to England and wrote a 625-page book.
God.
In which she didn't even mention the name Bacon. And then when she died, she claimed she was the Holy Spirit.
She claimed she was the Holy Spirit?
Yes. So the Holy Spirit, if she was right, also doesn't believe Shakespeare wrote Shakespeare. So if Bacon was one candidate, there were two other main candidates.
Oh, hang on. What was it?
Marlowe.
Christopher Marlowe.
Christopher Marlowe is one candidate. But the most popular
Earl
one...
of Oxford?
The Earl of Oxford is, yes, indeed, Edward de Vere.
Is that Edward de Vere?
That's Edward de Vere.
Wow, there's a lot going on there, isn't there?
There is, isn't there?
How does he keep that hat on?
It's sort of Kate Blanchett with a moustache. It's intense.
But, no, there are serious people. I mean, Freud liked the fact that he lost his father early on, like Hamlet, because, of course, he had an Oedipus complex theory about Hamlet, Freud, so he liked that idea. Who else? Looney invented a rather fanciful scenario because the Earl of Oxford died in 1604, and Shakespeare carried on writing plays many years after that. So
that might almost be the point at which to abandon the theory.
Yeah, you'd think. Instead of which he claimed that before dying he'd left a whole sheaf of plays, and that his servant, Shakespeare, then just produced them one after the other.
Isn't the Tempest written sort of 4 or 5 years after he died? 6 years, maybe, even after he died, referencing sort of stuff of the time. So after de Vere's dead...
Yes, quite.
He probably just left insert topical gag here.
Yeah, that's right. But there are Mark Rylance and Derek Jacobi, both supreme actors, and they both believe that it was the Earl of Oxford. There isn't a shred of evidence, as far as I can see.
It sort of doesn't matter. On the basis that what Shakespeare means to people is the guy that wrote those plays. And so if the guy that wrote those plays is a different guy that wrote those plays, that's still what a great guy.
Yes.
It's not an earth-shattering conspiracy, really, is it? That perhaps it isn't him?
Oh, 5,000 books on the subject, incredibly. Yeah, I know, it's extraordinary.
Yet no scrap of evidence.
Not real evidence, to be honest. No, it's just speculation. And the odd thing is, they often say, well, we know so little about Shakespeare. There are very, very few people of the Elizabethan era about whom we know more. I mean, Ben Jonson, for example, who was a very famous playwright. We don't even know where Ben Jonson was born or how many children he had.
If other people were writing the plays, why didn't they say so at the time?
Well, quite. I mean,
that's the bit I don't understand. It always seems to go that he didn't write all that. Well, wouldn't it have come out if other people had written?
Yeah, but if it was Ben Jonson or any of those others, jolly good luck to them, I say.
Was it just because he wasn't posh? Does it just come down to basic
It's kind of snobbery. They think, well, he was just this kid from Warwickshire and he was a woodlander, and but in fact, his father was a glover, which is a perfectly decent trade, as you say, and he went to the grammar school there almost certainly. And
he's sort of, you'd think, exactly as far up the society as you'd expect a major writer to be.
Yes.
Not, it's not like now the best novels are written by the Duke of Westminster.
No.